Um, can we all hear me clearly? Chat, are we hearing me clearly? Okay. All right. All good. All right. Let's continue. I said once you've properly identified what your main goal for the year would be and what your sub goals for the year would be, you would need to truncate backwards to reduce it. That's what we did here, reduce. Now, when I say reflect, I didn't properly talk much on this because I said for every level that we are on, we would have to reflect a level up, review the level that we are on, and reduce down to the next quarter. So review, reflect. Let me make that clear. So we're on the yearly level. That would fall under review. The year would fall under reflect. The quarter will fall under um, reduce. I'm going to show you the framework that I have on ground already. Like I said, it would better help you understand what I mean by reflect and reduce. Now, I'm not going to go through everything here because there are lots of them. But okay, this is 10 years from now, some of the prompts. But we'll just keep all of that first. Yeah, you would need to go back to this. The life you want 10 years from now, like I told you to do, you would be as specific as you possibly can. Once you have that clear, you have an idea of where you want to be. And the other prompts or put we won't get into that fully. Now, you will want to reflect on the past year, reflect on the things you did wrong, the ways that you've been in alignment or out of alignment from your goal, and every other thing. These things may seem excessive, but if you don't ask yourself these right questions, you would not be able to provide yourself with the best solution you can to give yourself a more intentional year. And after you're done reflecting through all of this, asking yourself those questions that you need to identify where you need to, what you need to do this year. Like your whys, having a strong why. What area of your life is the most attention currently? What are your biggest setbacks and what have you learned from them? These are things that would help you navigate how to better plan the year. Now you come down to the level that you're on, the review. What daily habits would align with your future goals? What distractions you need to eliminate? What challenges would you need to resolve? You deliberate on your identity. Now, when we get to identity, well, I talked about change, right? Let's assume you're someone who is shy and you're trying to be more more bold. You're trying to be more bold. You have to start being able to identify yourself as someone who is bold. You get, if you are chaotic, you have to start as intentional. If you are inconsistent, you have to start creating the identity, thinking, seeing yourself as someone who is consistent, basically. But things that are in alignment with whatever your goals are, you have to just find them. So if you're someone that needs to be disciplined in alignment to whatever that future goal of yourself is, you shrink it backwards and make it the opposite to be in alignment with that goal. I don't know if that makes sense. Are we following? Are we following? Are we following? Okay. Now, by the end of December 2025, what accomplishments would you be most proud of? I think this would help you give you a main goal to focus on, or possibly four goals, but probably one. If you have an idea of what to make you most proud at the end of 2025, whether it's finishing, mastering a new skill, um, it's in a new business milestone, it's in a professional milestone, it's in an academic milestone that gets you closer to that dream life, you put it down. You think about the personal or professional challenge you're looking to overcome this year. Under personal, it can be spiritual, it could be a mindset, it could be anything, any of those factors. And you think about them, you write them down. Now you come down here. When you've talked about the things that will make you most proud, you put down the single most important goal you're pursuing. One to four, like I said. Now that you've done this, you have a timeline that you need to break it down. So we now come down to this level of reduce that I was talking about. I hope the system is starting to make sense to you. We come down to reduce. You've identified your main goals. These are your sub goals. You've already written them down. You will write them down after this. I would take it there, but hold on. I just want to understand. I just want to know, are we getting the system so far? All right. Now you come down to your quarterly level. This first part would be for your main goal, your dream goal. You would need to break it down to timelines. If you had set out four goals for yourself, that means each quarter would have one particular goal, depending on the size of the goal. If it's a small goal that you can achieve in a quarter, then each quarter will have each of their own goal. But you would have to start from the most important one, or rather the furthest one backward. Oh, shit. Can you hear me? Hello? All right, sorry about that. The Wi-Fi went off for a bit. So, as I've forgotten where I was, but I'll just start from what I was saying. If you have one to four goals, if it's a big goal, you chunk them down into quarterly milestones. If, like I gave the example earlier about trying to be a profitable forex trader, or you want to open a YouTube channel, let's assume your quarterly goal is to end the year with 5,000 subscribers. Let's use that as a Emmanuel, hold on, I would attend to you, but let me just finish this. Just assume you want to start a YouTube channel with 5,000 subscribers. That means 5K at the end of the year. Let's assume your third quarter goal can be maybe 3K. Your second quarter goal can be 1K. And your final quarter can be you learning. Let me just make this because this is not working. So we said 5K, 3K, 1K, and the final quarter can be you just starting, let's say 200. That's the outcome you're looking to attain. Now remember, at this level, we are not focused on the actionable aspects yet, we're just talking about the outcome. So now you've chunked them down into the quarterly parts, into the quarterly milestones you want to hit. You do the same thing for your sub goals. You list out your sub goals, um, anywhere from 12 to 24. It should be around that range. You don't want it to be too small, and you don't want it to be too much. After you've listed them out, you chunk them down into the same thing, into milestones that you want to attain for the year. Let's assume part of my sub goal was to read 12 books by the end of the year. I want to hit 10K steps as part of a fitness goal. Um, I want to develop a more a more spiritual lifestyle. I want to be close. I want to improve my spiritual relationship, my relationship with God. So my normal lifestyle would probably be praying daily and reading the Bible daily, maybe a sermon daily if I have the time, or I'll pick a particular day, maybe 5 sermons in a week, a total. These are the goals you just write down, depending on the outcomes you want, for the dream version you want for yourself. But remember, your sub goals are for your habits and most of your lifestyle goals, things that you want to accumulate over the years, while your main goal is the main thing that you need to make that life possible. So you chunk them down. After you've done this, I don't want to stretch this too far. 12 books for a year. That would equate to me reading 3 books every quarter. Let me just expand that real quick. That would mean 3 books every quarter. Three, three, three. If I said I want to cover 1,000 kilometers in running, the total for the end of the year, that means at the end of every quarter, I should cover at least 250 kilometers as a fitness goal. If my spiritual goal is to study the Bible daily, that one doesn't have to have a benchmark. It's be an habit goal. So daily Bible study, the same thing with go here, daily Bible study. You are building the habit of that one. It's not a particular benchmark, it's an habit. So daily Bible study, the same thing all through year. Um, what else? Praying every day, the same thing, praying every day. You just pray it out here. So for the actionable items, you can break them down like for the ones that are habits, you just keep them the same. You want to grow your Instagram. Let's assume that's not your main goal. It's something you want to do on the side so that your other goals are not falling behind. Remember, you asked about academic and professional goals and other things. So you want to study daily. You want to make sure you spend 2 hours studying. So your study goal, 2 hours daily, 2 hours daily study. You just put them here and you just shrink them down. But for the main things that are still chunky, the ones that are not like um daily habitual goals, you just put them on the chunky part first, like 3 books for the quarter. Sorry, we're at the quarterly level. What am I doing? I think I've confused you guys a little bit. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're right. We're right. Sorry, I was mistaken this. So 3 books per quarter. This Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And that's basically how you just want to keep chunking those things down until you've listed out all the sub goals you want to list out for the year. Let's just move to the quarterly planning before we run out of time. I don't want to spend too much time here. Do you have any questions so far? Do we have any questions so far as to this particular level? Okay, someone wasn't hearing my voice. Ah, brand mistress is lost. Chimeri, you said you're lost too. Just type in the chat. What part did I lose you on? The chat wasn't out, so I wasn't sent the messages earlier. I would have backtracked on time. I'm waiting so we can move on to the next phase. Are we there? Okay, you said you could hear me, but it wasn't loud enough. Brand mistress says she's lost, so I don't know. On the quarterly level, we want to do the same thing. You already have your main goals outlined. That's your main project or your main goal for 2025. And you've broken them down into quarterly milestone. That's what we handled in the previous part. For the people that were lost, see if you can pick up from here. And for your sub goal, and for your sub goal, you've listed out the quarterly milestones you want to hit. I gave an example previously. I said, let's assume you want to read 12 books. Your quarterly milestones for those 12 books would be reading three every quarter. If you want to cover, say, 12 chapters in the Bible, 12 books, 24 books, that would mean reading six books every month. You want to accomplish your, let's not go back to backtracking because I don't know exactly where you guys are lost, so I can't particularly say you don't understand everything. Okay, you understand everything. Okay, good. That's lovely. I'm glad to hear that. I think only one person was lost, brand mistress. So I don't have to keep going back and forth. I would address that later on the group if there's two more questions. Let's just move forward. Now, remember the same thing we did on the yearly level. The first step is to reflect. We're on the quarterly level right now, so the quarterly level will go to review. The reflection would be on the yearly level. Then the reducing will be on the monthly level. You would go back to the things you've written down for the year, the plans you've written down for the year, are your quarterly goals that you've set here in alignments with them. You dig? Let me give you an overview of it on the planner. Now, before you even start the current planner, the current quarter, you would need to reflect on your previous quarter, how you've been doing, how you've been in alignment with your goal. What can you do to better improve yourself this quarter? Then this quarter, you list out the specific things, the specific milestones you want to hit that gets you closer to those goals. What are the top 2025 goals that you've listed out before? You make sure you go up a quarter. You go and check those things that you wrote up earlier in the 2025 goal. Make sure they're in alignment. Now, this bucket list includes things that you wrote down for your sub goal on the yearly level. So your sub goals will fall on that year. Then every other thing you need to accomplish that quarter, let's assume you have an exam to write at that quarter, there would be year two. You want to host a party, maybe a house party that quarter, they can be year two. They are not entirely part of your sub goals for the year, but there are things that you would like to incorporate into your quota, experiences you would like to have, skills you would like to attain, habits you would like to build. So you list all those things down here. This would be what you call your quarterly bucket list. You get? Now, after you've done all that, you'd transfer them down a level. Of course, you have your quarterly goal to your quarterly um, milestone that you've already written down on the annual level. You transfer those things down here. Now that you have your sub goal, I gave the example of you wanting to read 3 books. So let's assume your Q1 goal is 3 books for the sub goal. That means you just have to read 1 book monthly, right? If your main goal that gets you closer to that dream life that you're trying to build is a skill you want to learn, it's a company you want to start, it's a business you want to grow, whatever it may be, if it's for you to graduate from the course you're actually doing so that you can get closer to that goal, you make sure that everything is in alignment. You bring that quarterly goal down here. What are the outcomes you want by the end of March? If you're trying to grow your business, let's say from 100 clients to looking to have 2,000 clients at the end of the year, you would have chopped down that 2,000 clients to at least 500 clients each quarter, right? Then 500 clients each quarter. Maybe you are looking to get 100 clients the first quarter, the first month. If this is the quarterly goal, this is the yearly. Let's say this is M1, 200 clients for M2, another 200 for M3. That would sum towards 500. So that's what you would do on this level. You would break down this quarterly goal, this 500 new clients that you're trying to attain, down to the quarterly milestone. And this could be for anything, but it has to be for your passion project. So if it's a YouTube channel you're trying to open now, you're trying to get to 1K subscribers in the first month, you'd break it down. Obviously, things like this, they are not exactly a one-to-one ratio. Are we following? You say deliberate one, reflection, review, and reduce. How these things really work. I would get back to that. Now, these things are not usually a one-to-one ratio. I could say I want 1,000 subscribers at the end of the first month, but that doesn't mean I would get a 1,000 to 1 subscriber. These are more of outcome goals. The only thing I can do is to focus on what habits I can do, what actions I can take to get me here. And that's what you have to do on the monthly level. Are we following? Saying you want to achieve 1K followers, 1K subscribers, um, these goals are more of outcome based. You can't fully control them. Even if you post every day, you do everything you're supposed to do right. It doesn't particularly mean you get the outcome. You get. So if you have fully have gotten an idea of what your quarterly goal would be, when you come down to this level, fine, you would have the mindset that on M1 you want to get at least 100 subscribers, but you would focus more now on the actions than on the outcome. You get. So what do you need to do for January that would make 100 subscribers possible? You have to post daily, building a habit of posting every 2 times a week. That would be your January goal. Let's say for March, you would establish partnership with other YouTubers to put out your um, contents. You just basically break down those goals into more of actions based. Are we following? If I want to read um, I want to cover 3 books by the end of the quarter, like I said. These ones can still fall into outcome because they are more of a one-to-one ratio. For me to read one book at the end of the month, I just have to read 10 pages daily. 10 pages daily. That would be equals to 300 pages in a month. And if that's the amount of pages in the book, it's complete. If it's a 500-page book, I would divide that by 30, figure out how many I need to read daily. That would compound to that. For this kind of goals, the inputs can be equals to the outputs. You get. But for goals that are not like this, that are not equal to the input are not equal to the output, you want to focus on the inputs you need to put in. If I set my goal now that I want 100 subscribers at the end of January, what if I don't get those 100 subscribers? Does it mean that I failed? No, you can't have that kind of mindset. So for goals like that, you would simply have to be more inputs based. Yes, you may be expecting 100 subscribers, but what are the actions you need to take to get to the 100 subscribers? That is what you would put in. If you need to post more, if you need to create more awareness for your brand, you need to advertise, you need to run a discount, whatever it is you need to do to get you 200 new clients at February, 100 new clients at January, and that 200 at March, you need to host a sales, you need to do a contact gain. These things would be what you would put in. And this is just an example. It goes to academics as well. What are the actions you need to put in to get the desired results you want to get by the end of January, February, March? And you just keep stacking like that. So you break it down backwards from, you break it down, you reflect first on the yearly, you review where you are on that level, which is in this case the quarterly level. Then you break it down to the individual months. I would want us to stop the class here because of time. But for now, does anyone have a question? Let me just address it before the class is over. Do we understand everything I've been trying to explain so far? I feel like this class was extremely rushed, quite honestly. It's not it's not well paced the way I intended it to be. So have we been following so far? There's one more thing I didn't mention, but that would be for when the people that would get the planner. Uh, we'll be out of here in 10 minutes. Okay, Kemi said very straight to the point. Victoria says she understands. Everyone else, we're about how many here? 9 participants. The rest of us understand so far. I'm not seeing every other person. Now. Where did we all go to? You guys are here, but you're not talking. Do we understand? Do I need to revisit anything before the next 10 minutes is over? I know the class was not well paced due to I didn't even cover everything I intended to cover, but I can't stay here all night. So I just have to rush it and skip a lot of things, in fact. But yeah, okay. I believe everyone understands so far, so I'm really glad to hear that. Remember, um, someone said to explain, let me say that question again. Said Deliberates more on reflection, review, and reduce. Um, Let me see if I can just do that while you're waiting. The class is already over literally. But when it comes to reflection, you want to know where you are at the moment before planning your next step. If I don't know where I am, I can't really decide what my next step is going to be. That would get me in alignment to where I want to be. Now, remember, we are planning distance backward, not forward. So the first step would be to reflect on where I want to be. Um, are my actions so far in alignment with that? What am I doing wrong? Where do I need to change? How have I been intentional or not intentional? Where do I need to improve? What actions do I need to take to get me in alignment with those goals or to get me closer to those goals? You reflect on them, you answer those questions to yourself, and you do that at every level you get. You want to make sure that your yearly planning, your yearly plan is alignment with your life's vision. Your quarterly plan is in alignment with your year's vision. Your monthly plan is in alignment with your quarterly vision. Your weekly planning is in alignment with your monthly vision. And then your daily planning is in alignment with your weekly vision. So you want to make sure all these things are tied together. That's the only way we can tie those goals to our daily habits, like I said yesterday. So that's the reason reflection is important. Then we come down to review. Review tells us where we are at the moment. So in this case, we are on the quarterly level. Now that we've reflected on um, how our previous quarters were and if they're in alignment with our yearly vision for ourselves, our yearly milestone, if we met up to those targets we set or whatever, you review how can you make this quarter better? What are the things you need to adjust from the insights you gain from this reflection? Where do you need to improve? Where do you need to change? All those questions, you put them into consideration, and then you reduce those tasks into the monthly aspects. That would because when you have those plans already and you have what you need to do for that quarter, it's still just on the quarterly level. It's not yet actionable. You get so you have to reduce it back to what you can do this month. Oh, I wasn't very consistent last month with my studies. I need to do better this month. I need to take at least 1 hour daily to study. I need to take at least 1 hour daily to practice my skill. I need to take at least 1 hour daily to do this and that. Um, let's assume that's your quarterly level. You have to still reduce it back to the actionable part, which is your monthly. You get so that you have a benchmark of what you want at the end of each month. If you are learning a skill now and quarterly, you want your quarterly goal, let's assume your first quarter goal is to first learn the skill and complete 100 hours of testing, 100 hours of practice rather. Remember what I said about 100 hours practice yesterday? Let's assume that's your goal for the first quarter to master the skill and to learn 100, to have 100 hours of practice. That would mean that for your monthly milestone, let's say month one would be, let's say month one would be learn the skill. Month two would be 50 hours practice. Month three would be 50 hours practice. Or you can be learning the skill simultaneously while doing a 33 hours practice on each month. That would be like practicing just 1 hour daily would get you these results. Now you see how the 100 hours practice goal are shrunken down to 1 hour from the reducing, but it has to be tied to that goal of new skill, learning new skill, and practice 100 hours. Then maybe the following months, the my quarter two goal can be um gain experience through internship. Then maybe quarter three, develop a network chain of clients for freelance. Quarter four, be independent. That is a streamline of goals that would keep compounding until you get that outcome you want for the end of the year. Starting from what's the daily habits, but it all starts from being able to reflect on where you are coming from, where you are on, and what you need to do to make them actionable steps. Does that better explain the whole point of why you need to reflect, review, and reduce? I don't even know how many people are still here. Okay, we are still here. Does that better explain it, Emmanuel, and every other person listening? Why you need to be able to review, reduce, and reflect on the levels, the individual levels you're on? Do you have a better understanding now? Okay. Any other question? Just a minute left. For all these parts, the monthly and the quarterly level, they are usually outcome based, quite frankly. But for the monthly, sometimes you can make them more action based, like I did for this example, whereby you set out to practice for 100 hours while learning. That's more action based to get the outcome of mastering the skill. Let's assume the quarterly goal is being able to master the skill by the end of the first quarter, by the end of the second quarter to gain employment and experience, third quarter to be earning a certain amount from that skill, fourth quarter to earn a particular amount. At the monthly level, you make it actionable, like I did, 100 hours. Then that way, when you come down to the months that you're on, which would address um, the following class, the monthly and the weekly, then the daily, you can take more actions. If I know I only need to practice that 3 hours this month, I would do that 1 hour daily, and that would compound to my goal. So, um, tomorrow will be final day of the class. I will try to shrink the class not to be this lengthy, hopefully. But yeah, and I'll use the full framework when the time comes. But for now, good night, everyone. If there's any question, drop it on the group chat. The call will be ending any minutes now, so drop it on the group chat if you have any questions or if I've answered your question from yesterday or anything. Let me know. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.